All right, so Eunice did a great job just kind of laying out some of the CEOs there and some of the conversations they're having. I know you're also looking at it. I just want to kind of, for the audience, just go over this one more time. Broad section of CEOs from tech, we're talking Qualcomm, Broadcom, pharma, Eli Lilly, Pfizer, financial services even, Blackstone and Citadel. Right now, China seems to be projecting right now. They want to project a lot of confidence in their economy and their policies and also give a lot of confidence to these CEOs that China is a good place to invest. But I want to ask you, is the reality equal for all these different industries? I mean, for tech, is there an equal desire by China for them to invest and kind of expand in China as there is for perhaps FedEx or Citadel?
Yeah, it's a good question, Frank. Look, I think the reality is many of the companies that we see there today feel that this market is slipping away from them because of some pretty intense domestic competition in China. Not all sectors are the same. As you point out, there are some sectors that have a little bit more running room than others. But at the end of the day, Frank, there are a lot of good Chinese alternatives across these sectors. And so I think you're going to see a lot of CEOs there, not just because they want to get a beat on what's happening today, but they have to stay in this market because they know the competition is getting intense, Frank.
All right, so we just mentioned the investment by Apple that Tim Cook announced. We were showing Tim Cook there as well. Should we expect to see more of that from U.S. companies, this idea that you invest in China to kind of, I guess, it's an olive branch or just a show of goodwill?
Well, you know, it's hard to know where this is going to go, Frank. I think this is a playbook we've seen before, but there's still a lot of policy uncertainty here, and not just in terms of tariffs. There are a lot of Biden-era executive orders that Trump has not repealed. Outbound investment, for example. Congress is still talking about doing something on outbound investment. So on some levels, I think you may be getting, not you, but some of the CEOs there may be getting a little bit ahead of the skis until we get a more settled policy environment. But I understand why they're making these pledges. Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about, actually spent a lot of time talking about the U.S. CEOs. It's important to note there's global CEOs there, including European CEOs. Based on your research, what are they there to do? Obviously, the continent of Europe and the EU trading bloc, it could get caught up in some of these tariffs, and it could have a negative impact on them. What's the real pull for them to be in China and talking to Chinese leaders?
So this, to me, is the interesting storyline of this particular CDF, Frank. We're seeing a larger number of EU CEOs there this year. And my guess, Frank, is that that is a hedge. That is a hedge because the EU is starting to really feel like they are also being targeted by the U.S. Tariff policy, economic and trade policy. And so China is, at least for them, a hedge. But again, European companies are facing the same challenges that U.S. companies are facing with respect to domestic competition, particularly the auto sector, Frank, which our viewers will certainly know about. But everyone is in China because everyone hopes that this will be the stability that they're looking for, that China will stay committed to globalization and multilateralism. And so that's what the real theme is this year and why you're seeing a lot more people, particularly European CEOs, show up at CDF.
All right, Dewardre, we're almost out of time. We got to get going. But can you just bottom line it for the viewers who are investors? When we're talking about these companies that get significant revenues from China, what does this all mean? I'm thinking about an Apple. I'm thinking about McDonald's, Starbucks. We were just showing the Corning CEO and the Qualcomm CEO. What does this all really mean? Or what will we find out at the end of the week when this is over, what this means?
Well, I think there are good news stories starting to develop in China. And I think for the companies that you listed, it's still too big for them to completely ignore. But again, it's a fight for them domestically, Frank. So they have to show up and they have to figure out how better to engage the Chinese consumer, which we heard from Eunice, may start to really spend again in 2025. And Western companies are going to have to figure out how to get some of that spending on their books.